Alright guys, so I want to make this video real quick because I stumbled across this interesting conversation between a couple guys, Chaotic Truth and Trigger Mike. Now, Chaotic Truth, I'm familiar with his channel. He actually reached out to me because he wanted to have a conversation, and I responded, but he never responded back. So if he sees this video, he's more than happy to respond to my email, right? So that, maybe we can set something up. But they're having a conversation in which they're going to tell the truth about what immigrants, specifically Africans here, think about black people who complain about the lack of opportunities in America. And I've had this conversation before on my channel. I reacted to Fresh and Fit, who too come from family of immigrants, basically saying what most immigrants think, especially successful immigrants, think about black people when they see black people complain about the so-called lack of opportunities in America, right? They laugh, right? They, in private conversations, they're laughing because they're just like, bruh, like, these guys are complaining about a country that has more opportunity on earth than almost every other country on earth, okay? Yeah, that is what they think, okay? So they're going to have this conversation, and Tariq Nasheed, who is one of these guys who's into this, whole FBA thing, foundational black Americans, aka Americans who were, enslaved in Africa, brought over here to the United States by the white man, okay, and for generations since then have been in America, okay? He's all about that. And he's, calling for reparations. I think he demanded 20 trillion, right? Some ridiculous number like that in reparations. He's selling this pipe dream that, black folks are going to get reparations with that because we demand reparations is going to happen. And, all types of other stuff. Instead of just being real about it and just saying, look, man, the opportunities are there. As a black person in this country, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve at the individual level as long as you work hard. And instead of giving practical advice, it's more like, oh, well, black people, we were done wrong and such and such and such and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, that doesn't do anything for the individual, right? And again, he's going to get triggered by this conversation here, and I'll react to it. As he says, a couple of tethers. Okay, tethers, I believe what he's referring to are people that are basically not like, black in the sense that they've been here, their family's been here since slavery, are claiming that FBAs are jealous and mad because they come to America and become so successful. And it's because FBAs don't take advantage of all the opportunities like they do. Okay, so with that being said, I want to go ahead and react to this. So let's get into it.
If Nigerians had a reputation of being gangbangers when they come to America, if they had a reputation of being deadbeat fathers and bad families, the Black American or foundational Black American community would overwhelmingly embrace the Nigerian. What has happened is that the Black American or the foundational Black American is looking at the Nigerian, looking at the success, like you said, C-suite executives, doctors, engineers, business owners. They're saying, how did these black people come here and achieve all this in slavery and blah, blah, blah. And see, they were told that slavery existed, or they were oppressed. The white man's holding them back. And then they see my parents. They see your parents. They see other Nigerians. And they're like, and something doesn't click. So instead of critically thinking, they listen to idiots like Tariq Nasheed, dogging the Nigerian, dogging the productivity of the Nigerian or any other West African that comes here. Now they're the enemy. But the true enemy is you. You've been here for 7, 8 generations. You didn't take advantage of the free public school system. You didn't take advantage of all the resources in this country. Instead of going to Trigger Mike, you went to HBCU.
I did.
How many black kids really were majoring in mathematics compared to social sciences?
Yeah, I mean, facts. Again, this is a conversation that I've had quite a bit on my channel about this. And again, people don't want to listen to it because they think, well, you're a sellout, you're a Tom, whatever. But I'm just telling you the truth, right? I'm telling you the truth, okay? What those guys saying is exactly what a lot of immigrants think about black people who, complain about, it having it so bad. They're like, bro, you've been here for generations. You have the advantage of knowing the land, okay? Knowing the country. You have an actual advantage because you've been here. You know how it is. You should know how to navigate the system. You should know how to take advantage of the system, okay? But yet you're complaining about, oh, well, we're so oppressed and we can't get ahead because of X, Y, and Z when there's so much opportunity out there. And the reason why you can't get ahead is because a lot of this stuff is self-inflicted. Bad decisions. What chaotic truth there said at the end, right, about majors, again, is a major reason why we have the wealth gap. I'll put it this way. We're not closing the wealth gap as fast as we should. Look at the majors of what black people major in here, okay? African Americans, our college majors and earnings. African Americans tend to be overrepresented in lower earning majors. What are the top 10 majors for percentages of African American bachelor degree holders? Health and medical administration services, human services and community organization, social work, public administration, criminal justice and fire protection, sociology, computer and information systems, human resource and personnel management, interdisciplinary social studies, pre-law and legal studies. A bunch of fields that don't make no money, right? Let's be real. Again, I'm not saying that it's wrong to go into those fields, okay? I'm not saying that, being a social worker is a bad profession. But what I'm saying is that if you're talking about money, if you're talking about wealth and closing the wealth gap, which is something that a lot of these people talk about, is the disparity in wealth between whites and blacks. It starts with education. It starts with, one, taking advantage of the public school system, right? Because, again, a lot of these countries that these people come from, they don't have a good public school education system, right? If they have any access to it at all. Over here in America, everybody gets that. Yes, it's not as good as it should be, right? It can be better, but you still have it. You have access to community college, four-year university. You have access to all that stuff. And the government will even pay for it, right? They'll pay for it, even though I don't think they should be. For some of this stuff these people are majoring in, they'll pay for it. And you're telling me that you can't take advantage of all those resources to get ahead and to make something out of yourself as an individual? It's nonsense. It's nonsense, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. But see, there's certain people in this country that instead of telling the truth and calling it like it is and saying, look, you got to think smarter. You got to work harder, and you got to do things differently. You got to think differently about things. When you go to college, when you raising your kids, you got to tell your kids, look, going to college and majoring in social work is not acceptable. You got to go to college and you got to be a doctor. You got to be a lawyer. You got to be an engineer. You got to go into business, or, you need to do something, have a trade, something that's going to make you a lot of money, something that's going to allow you to build generational wealth over time. That's what the mindset has to be. But instead, the mindset is, oh, well, it's the white man. The white man is holding us back. We can't do nothing because the white man, he did all this to us in the past, slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights. Instead of thinking about today and what opportunities you have there. Again, these guys preaching reparations. Oh, you're old reparations. You are old reparations. Black people are old reparations. But black people are never going to get it. And once you realize that black people are never going to get it, then you can take your mind off something that you're never going to get and put your mind on something that you can get, right? Which is all the money and opportunity and resources that are out here today to be accumulated by anybody, right? But that's not the mindset of people out here like Tariq Nasheed, like some of these other guys that are preaching this, oh, well, we're old reparations and the white man did us so wrong and, blah, 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 blah. We owed this, we owed that. Because even if a lot of these people got reparations, it ain't gonna change nothing. Not unless their mindset change. Because if they're going out here taking their reparations and buying new cars, clothes, jewelry, depreciating assets, that reparations ain't gonna amount to squat. Right? In 20, 30 years, you can give all that money right back to the government. Right? You can get all that money right back to the white man. That's exactly what you're gonna do. But when you look at some of these immigrant communities, their mindsets are different. And it's not just, oh, well, they came over here from wealthy families. That's always the thing I hear. Well, they only say that because they came from wealthy families. When that's not always the case. That's not always the case. Some of these people have come over here from nothing. But see, when you go to some of these other foreign countries and you see the work ethic, you see the fact that these people work their tails off, even when they're not making anything, they still work hard. When you see that, and then they bring it to a country like America with opportunity, all of a sudden, they find it easy to dominate because the work ethic is there. Right? It's already there. A lot of these people, these immigrants come over here, they come over here with nothing and they still dominate. They still become successful. Again, because it's the work ethic. Because they're not living with a victimhood mindset. They know what victimhood actually looks like. They know what it's like to come from a country where no matter how hard you work, no matter what you do, you're screwed. Because the country is so unstable. The system's so stacked against you. But that's not how it is in the U.S. And people hate hearing the immigrants and people like these, Nigerians or whatever, come over here and dominate, and to then say, hey, look, I did it. Why can't you do it? They hate seeing it. Because it's a perfect example of how the so-called systemically racist system that's supposed to be systemically racist against colored people. For whatever reason, these people have overcome it. For whatever reason, Asians have figured it out. For some reason, Nigerians have figured it out. Right? Indians have figured it out. Even some Hispanics, they figured it out. Black people, on the other hand, well, we just, we still haven't figured it out, right? When it's very obvious, it's very simple what you need to do. Work hard, work smart, take risks. That's all it is. Don't go to school and major in stuff like, gender studies and stuff like that. Go to school, push your kids to be great, right? It's really that simple. Don't buy depreciating assets. Spend your money wisely. Live frugally. Live below your means. A lot of these immigrant families, they come over here, they don't buy a bunch of expensive cars and stuff. They running around in Hondas, right? 2013, 2014 Hondas. Why is that? Because they understand the value of investing, right? Not spending your money on stupid things. Jewelry. Flexing. Keeping up with the Joneses. They don't care about that. Because they too busy buying gas stations, hotels, smoke shops, grocery stores, businesses, sending their kids to school to major in things that are actually going to make them some money. Right? It's not hard, man. But it starts at the individual level. It starts at the individual making up his mind and saying, this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to teach my kids. And I'm going to hold my kids to the highest standard. That's all they do. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. So, again, I thought that was an interesting conversation. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.